and so on and so on. Hi, I'm Steve Giordano, and I'm doing a series of instructional videos, not just for guitar players, for all musicians. Anyway, today's subject is going to be bass lines. I guess it's more pertaining to guitar players, I guess, today, because playing bass lines on the guitar, I mean, there's been there's a lot of approaches to it, and I just want to show you my approach to it, and maybe it'll open up some things for you. Now, the tune that I chose was a tune by Benny Golson, Along Came Betty, and I chose it because I like it, but also it's got some interesting things in there. For instance, the first chord is B flat minor, and then it goes to B minor. So if we're looking at bass lines as forming from the chords that we play on the guitar, we would probably come up with something. I'll slow it down too. Probably come up with something like, etc. And that's an approach that I think a lot of people have taken in creating bass lines on the guitar. So I want to show you that I like to look at it a little differently than that. And I think the main difference is that I don't want to be tied to the chords or voicings or positions that I'm necessarily playing. I don't want my bass line to come out of the chords. I kind of want to reverse it, and I want to think of a bass line as nothing more than, which is a lot, nothing more than a solo in quarter notes strung together. And I want to think that the emphasis is going to be placed on the melodic aspect of the bass line, and the chords, they'll come and they'll go. I mean, the chords aren't going to control my bass line. And nor am I going to have a responsibility to have to play the root of the chord on the downbeat, because, I mean, all the greatest jazz bass players know when they need to play the roots on strong parts, but certainly the roots, starting off every measure on the root is confining and also not interesting and doesn't achieve anything musically. So let's just look at this case in point. Let's just say, in the beginning, you can almost arbitrarily, let's just say we're using B flat minor and Along Came Betty. And let's say, just to make this point, I'm not going to start on the root. Not because I'm trying to be controversial, but just in the middle of this tune, I wound up and I actually played maybe the fifth, which is right here. So from the fifth, I might have a different journey. I might go, I might come up with a line like that, but that would never happen if I'm thinking of. So this way I'm going. It doesn't matter where it's going to go. If I started on the ninth, I might do even in that register. And I'll talk about register in a second, but. So even a bass line like that, you might be thinking that it's not it's too high. It doesn't sound bassy enough. Well, if you are thinking that, that's an interesting thought, because the success of a bass line on an instrument that's higher than a bass, an octave higher, is depends on the touch and the volume that we play the bass. So if I play the bass line with this kind of guitar volume, it sounds very guitaristic. It doesn't sound like a bass. But if I simulated a bass by playing a low volume, I can actually get a more bass-like effect by playing this. See, at that F chord there, there's my thumb too, but at the F chord there, I didn't start on the root, but my bass line actually started on the major 7. So I went, and I unfolded like that. Now I could have done it this way, but I have habits of using my thumb once in a while. So in my mind, I'm actually soloing in quarter notes. So this approach, again, let's just take another position. Let's say B flat minor here. So let's say that I want to start on the 11th, which is E flat. So let's say. Now that I started the downbeat of an A flat 7th chord there on the flat 9. So again, here's the progression. It's A major 7th to A flat 7th to G major 7th to G flat 7th. So I think I did something like. Now I'm singing them just to bring it out, but if we're playing. As long as I play soft enough, and also another thing is I'll bring in here is technically I like to only play downstrokes when I play the bass because it doesn't feel right to do this, to go up and down. So if the tempo is faster, so then I would still use downstrokes because I still feel like I capture the feel of the bass line much easier like that too. Listen. So now the chords that I'm using, I don't worry about being able to play the chords. I just keep the bass line going, and if I feel like I have a chord handy, if a chord occurs to me that I can bring it out, I'll bring the chord out. Now, when I'm bringing the chords out, you notice that I'm bringing them out in a syncopated way. In other words, I'm not bringing them out on a downbeat. I'm not going. I'm bringing them out like this. I might go. So you have. And that's equivalent to if you're playing with a drummer, and he's keeping a cymbal beat with his left hand. With his right hand, excuse me, his left hand will be doing but. It's called independent. So he's creating these little sparks with his left hand. Well, that's how I approach where to play the chords or how to play them. Now, if I use my fingers, but if you're not a guy that uses his fingers, you can still do it with a pick. Like let's see. That's even too loud for me. I like to even get softer. I'm so used to using my fingers it's hard for me not to, but you can do it with the upstroke of the pick as well. Now this is a complicated tune to practice this on, so you take a simpler tunes in the beginning, tunes that don't have so many changes all the time. I started with this because it just struck me as to demonstrate not to do parallel things when you have two of the same kind of chords. But try tunes that are simpler tunes that are don't change key maybe much, and you can just practice freeing your bass line up and try to get that sound. Okay, work on it every day, 5 hours. Thanks.